Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today you're bidding on tone Nirvana. If you're a guitar player and you're looking for the ultimate tone and in a system that's just plain incredible, look no further and bid on what I call, or my bandmates used to call, the box. So what is the box? The box is a guitar player's dream, based around Mesa Boogie amplification and an array of different effects built on a platform that delivers a true parallel wet and dry signal chain. You get a well-balanced sound with punch and articulation. And that is what you get out of the box, or the guitar rig, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to start, we're going to get right into it. And we're going to see what the box is made up of, what are the all the different units and how they relate to each other, and then in a little bit I'll do some playing so you can sample some of the sounds, and we'll go through the whole system. So starting at the bottom, we have here a Mesa Boogie Mark IV head. This is the head version of the Mesa Boogie. This is a 3-channel amplifier based around the 6L6 tubes. It's an all-tube amplifier, and it's a 3-channel amp, and it's basically the heart of the system. The next unit above that is the Mesa Boogie Tri-Axis. This is a for all the different distortion sounds and clean sounds as well. This is a preamp. It's all tube based around the 12AX7 tubes. And it is the preamp. Then above that we have 2 units. They're half rack mountable units. We have by Digital Music Corp here a system mix. That's a dual stereo line mixer, and this custom interface on this side here with these 4 wires going into it. We'll start over here at the system mix. What that does is that balances or mixes the dry signal out of the Mesa and the wet signal, which is the process signal, and it mixes that so into a stereo signal, into a balanced signal to be sent over to the stereo 290, which we'll talk about in a minute, and the signal comes out in stereo with the 2 Mesa Boogie 1x12 vertical cabs. So that's what that does. This custom interface allows us to plug in the MIDI, the volume pedal, and the wah pedal. And those controllers are down here on the floor. And over here to the left is the volume pedal. And then we have the ground control, which is this unit right here. And the ground control basically controls all the different switching. Whether you're switching the Mark IV channels or the Tri-Axis, or you're putting together a patch which effectively puts in line the Mark IV clean channel with the G-Force, or so on and so forth. You can set all those up here on the ground control switcher. Those 2 pedals over to the right, Ernie Ball pedals, those are modified. Those are expression pedals, and those are connected to the ground control unit. And you can change parameters within a certain patch. So for instance, on the G-Force, if you set up a patch for the delay, you can use expression pedal volume 1, let's say, to sweep the different milliseconds in the delay. So in real time you can effectively have different types of delays going on as you're playing. And then the pedal all the way over to the right is the wah controller. So those are the pedals that are in front of the rig and what will be in the front of the stage for you to step on and control volumes and different patches and wah and so on and so forth. The next unit here is this one here. This is the Digital Music Corp GCX digital audio guitar switcher. There's 8 loops, and what that does is, if you only need the Mark IV on the clean channel with a simple delay, everything else will be out of the chain. So you're not introducing any noise or anything else into the signal. You're only using what you need to get the sound at that particular time, and that's what the audio switcher does. The unit above that is this DBX 166A. This is a compressor limiter, and it is set up on the right side. This right half here of the unit is set up as we have indicated as a gate, and over here the compressor. And you can dial that to taste to see exactly where you want the gate to come in, or how much compression you want to use on a certain signal or a certain patch. The unit above that is this really nice TC Electronics G-Force with the artist expansion card, and that provides different types of delays and choruses and tremolos. It has a tap tempo, so you can tap the controller board and set that up so that you can play your delays in time to whatever beat's going on at the time. So it does a lot of stuff, and it also interfaces with the expression pedals, so you can have those variables change in real time as you use the pedals up and down. The next unit is really nice. It's very rare. It is very sought after. It is something that is no longer manufactured, I believe, and it's hard to find. But guitarists love it because of the multi-tap delays, and the delay sounds are just awesome. They're just incredible, and something that you have to hear to really appreciate. And that's the Korg DL8000R. And I'm proud to have that inside the rig. That is one of the workhorses in the rig. I use it a lot for my lead playing. It just has a beautiful, natural sounding delay with a nice trailing off of the delay, just beautiful. And then the next effect above that is this Rocktron IntelliFX LTD unit. It was one of my first processors that I ever purchased when I started playing guitar, and I'm proud to have it in the rig and creating a very ultimate experience. And I use that exclusively for some of my chorusing sounds. And then the unit here, this Crybaby DCR ISR, that's a rack mounted wah system. Instead of having just a wah pedal that most guitarists would use, this one gives me the flexibility of not only having a nice wah sound, but I can actually have 6 different types of wah sounds. I have 6 different ranges for the wah, EQ, so I can EQ that to taste, and control the volume as well. And that's controlled by, again, the wah controller to the right on the floor. And that's a rack mountable wah system. And then on top of that, we have the Korg ToneWorks DTR1 digital tuner. So it's important, as you know, as a guitar player, you always want to be in tune. And the way this is set up in the system is, if the volume is 0, if you take the volume pedal and you kill the volume, you can tune no matter what. So in between songs, tuning, or even as you're playing, if you're riding on a low E string, you could tune it and the whole thing works perfect. Then above that, yeah, the Furman Power Conditioner. This is the model AR117. This is the power supply for the system. It not only protects your equipment, but it regulates the power to give every single electronic piece of equipment in this system the optimal voltage, and condition that voltage so that every piece of equipment in this rig is operating optimally. And then to house it all here, this is the Mesa Boogie SUS4 Super Shock Mount System Rack. So this is a Road Warrior case, and this is, and later on I'll show you the case with the front and the back on there. And you just put this right on the truck, and as you go to arenas or stadiums or halls all around the country and the world, this case will protect all this equipment for you. Above that, sitting on the top in its own case, this is a SKB case, I think it is. This is a Mesa Boogie Stereo Simulclass 290. This is an all-tube power amp. Has 8 6L6 power tubes in it. Now, what the job and main function of this amp is what that mixed signal, this amp gets that mixed signal, so that combination of the dry and the wet from that line mixer is sent to the stereo simulcast 290, and that is then outputted to these two Mesa Boogie vertical 2x12 cabs. So you're going to get a mix on how you want it. You could put a little bit of the wet, you could put a lot of the wet, you could have it 50-50, 60-40, whatever you want will come out of here. Then this top speaker, this is a 1x12 cab by Mesa Boogie. This has a G12 Vintage 30 Celestion speaker. That is a guitar player's dream. The Celestion Vintage 30 is, in my opinion, probably the best guitar speaker out there. I mean, the tone is just incredible. Again, tone Nirvana. And that's a speaker that's in here. And the only thing that's coming out of this top speaker, the way it's designed, again, it's a parallel wet-dry system. This is only the dry signal. And this is from the Mark IV power section. So when you balance the wet and the dry on the stereo cabs with the dry signal on top, you're going to get the perfect blend of a beautiful balanced affected signal with that beautiful delay, but also with the punch and articulation of the dry signal, which is very, very important if you want to achieve that tone Nirvana, or that awesome tone, or whatever you're searching for that you always hear on the records. And that's how you're going to do it, in my opinion. Now, also in the back here, you don't see it yet, but I'll describe a couple things in the back. This whole system was designed and built by a good friend of mine, Mark Snyder. He has done a lot of different guitar systems for famous artists all over the world. And if you know Mark's work, he's very meticulous. He uses Mogami wiring. Everything is cut to length and custom fitted in the back. He uses the Neutrik connectors. So everything is custom. Everything is using the highest quality parts in terms of the connectors and the wiring. There's a couple things in the back here. There's a custom power supply that controls all the 9-volt power. What he did is he basically took the 9-volt wall warts, and I think there were 3 or 4 of them for some of these effect units that you see here in the rig, and they wouldn't fit in the Furman because there's not enough space. So he built a special power thing that he mounted to the back of the rack, and that power unit plugs into the Furman with a regular connector, and then that distributes the 9-volt power to those effect processors that need the 9-volt power. Also in the back there's a custom box where the dry signal comes out of, and there's a switch and it's labeled. You can either set it for speaker, which it is now, and basically that means that when you play through the system, the sound will come out of the speakers. If you switch it to load, he built a load system where you can plug the system or the rig into a console at a recording studio, so you don't need to power through. You'll still get the sound of the system, of the power tubes and all that, but basically you're fooling the system into putting it into this load thing that he built, which is kind of cool. So those are the different components of the box, and we'll take a break. We'll come back in a second, and I'll demonstrate some cool stuff for you. Well, hello again, and thank you for coming back to the next segment of the box. And as I described earlier, I described all the different components, so I think it's now time to get into it and to turn the rig on and play some stuff so that you guys out there in eBay land can take it in and see what you think. So first thing is when it's all connected and you plugged everything in and you're sure all your connections are correct, and of course I have manuals on the computer for all the components, and I will do a video on how to properly connect everything, so you don't have to worry about that. It's really not that hard. The only thing you have to do, everything is ready to go. So once everything is like it is, as you see it, the only button you have to do right now is you go up to the firmament, to this button right here, and which is off right now, and you just flick it on. Poof! Everything comes alive, like a Christmas tree. Okay, you got the boogie fires up, the triaxis, all the things come up. Okay. Okay, so now what we can do is the amps are on standby. So the stereo 290 is in the standby mode, even though it's on. There's no sound going to come out, and the same thing for the Mark IV. So this is the perfect time to tune your guitar. And as you see, when you tune the guitar, you see the notes coming up, and you see it. Alright. Okay, so after you tune, down here, before you go to the next step, what I always like to do is I like to come to the controller, and I like to just hit number 1. Get my main rhythm sound up there. Make sure the volume is down so your pedal is all the way up. And now it's time to transition the rig from a standby mode to active. Okay, and basically what I do is I just take the stereo 290 and I take this switch and I go on. You hear a little pop, maybe some hum, and then you go do the same thing with the Mark IV, and still have no sound because I need to do this. So okay, so that's just some simple rhythm stuff, just to show you that. Then of course that's not the only sound in the system. So basically I'm going to kind of get in here a little bit and see what we got here. We got a lead sound that's based on the triaxis. To like a Mark IV. Clean. so you got some nice clean sounds. Let's see what else we got here. There's a whole bunch of different things. Let's see. So that's just some of the tones that we can get out of it. There's a lot more. We'll come back in a little bit and see what else we got. Welcome back, and as you can see by looking at the video now, we have turned the box around. This is the back of the Ultimate Guitar Rig, and I got some serious cable management here. I mean, as I described before, every single wire back here is cut to length using Mogami wiring and Nortrek connectors. Mark did an incredible job wiring this, and as you can see, everything is clean and neat. So let's start real quick what we see here. On the very bottom, on the right side, which is this box right here, earlier I described a switch to go between speaker and load. So this wire is connected here. There's a locking connector here that you put the Nortrek connector in here. This wire runs all the way up to the dry cab, and up here, as you can see, is the Celestian G12. So that's this cab here. But if you take that switch down there and you flick it to load, I don't know if you can see it. Let me move this out of the way. There's a little bar back here with these wires, and this is kind of, I don't know the science behind it, but basically when you put it into load, that becomes the speaker load, and that enables you basically to tap off of the signal there without blowing up your console equipment. So that's what that interface does. This we also have another box here. This is from the Stereo 290. And again, everything here is labeled. So we made it idiot proof. And to prove that right now, we did a great job here. Mark did a great job making these snakes. He's taken these Mogami wire, the Nortrek connectors, and wrapped them on some of these things. He wrapped them up in this snake type of thing here, this wrap, and they're labeled. This particular one says 290 in A and 290 in B, and the other side says the same thing, 290 in B and 290 in A. So all we have to do is, we know this has to do with this unit here. This is the power amp, and up here you see the inputs for A and B. So in B, we'll put it in the B, and the other one we put in the A, because it says to do that, and they're all labeled. It makes it simple on that end. And then down here on this connector, okay, again, is written 290 in B and 290 in A. So the A goes here, and the B goes here, and that's it. And you're going to find the same thing with, this is a dry speaker, and it says dry speaker, so on and so forth. So everything is labeled, very easy to put together. And then also on the box here, earlier I had mentioned that there's a custom power supply that was built to take care of some of the 9-volt units, which needed some type of 9-volt wall wart type of thing, and that's this box here. This box basically has these power connectors here, and this is what feeds those 9-volt and substitute of the wall warts. And you can see all the tubes here. You can see the 5 12AX7s on the triaxis, the 4 on the bottom there in the back, the 4 6L6 tubes. So everything is very well wired, very professional. Again, this is built to be on the road. This is built to go into the arenas and the stadiums and the halls. This is professional gear, and it will give you an incredible tone. Great equipment in here. So, and the wheels, the rugged professional casters on the bottom. They're not cheap. You know, everything again is built to last, and it's just an awesome piece of equipment. And I wish you all good luck. And I know that it will find a new and suitable home, and will provide many, many years of continued enjoyment to the person who decides to take on the responsibilities of the box. Thank you, and good luck. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the speaker, or one of the speakers. This is the Mesa Boogie, the back of the Mesa Boogie 2x12. There's two 12-inch speakers in this cabinet. It's a closed back speaker cabinet, and this rig utilizes two of them, the left and the right, for stereo. It's powered by the Mesa Boogie Stereo 290, and basically I'm going to show you here. This is the end you're going to plug into each speaker. So you're going to have a very long, I think this is like 20 feet or maybe even longer wire, and then at the end it splits off just enough so you can put these speakers on either side. Again, this is a speaker wire, Nortrek connector, and you're going to plug this in to the 16 ohm on each speaker. These speakers can also be bi-amped or do other stuff to it, but this system is made in such a way that we're only going to use the 16 ohm. So 16 ohm in, and that's it. That's basically all you have to do. And up here, the dry one, there's only one input, so you take the dry speaker one and the 8 ohms here, and you put that in there, and that's for that speaker cabinet up there. So all in all, you're going to have 3 speakers, 2 wet and dry stereo speakers run by the Stereo 290, and the dry cab up here with the Celestion G12 Vintage 30 powered by the Mark IV head that's on the bottom of the rack. Again, thank you again so much for taking the time to really evaluate this experience. It's a very unique experience at that. It's a one of a kind. There are no others in the whole world built like this. It was built with a certain application in mind, and it served its purpose for many, many years. Hello, and welcome back to the next segment of The Box. Okay, here we have the ultimate guitar rig, Tone Nirvana. Inside this box, it is now not assembled anymore. It is now ready to be put onto the truck and to follow you all over the United States as you tour the arenas, stadiums, halls, and so on and so forth. As you can see, everything is nicely packed inside this Mesa Boogie SUS4 Super Shock Mount System. And I'll just spin it around so everyone at home can see. You know, here are the handles. You got 2 handles right here on each side. And unfortunately I have this rug on the bottom here that's moving, but we'll get rid of that. This is the back of it. The back, you can tell it's the back because the 2 bolts here that hold up the additional power supply is in the back. And here is the other side with the handles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take out the panels here. Alright, so all you have to do is you take, these are recessed, these butterfly things here, they pop out there, and you kind of twist them, and this thing is spring loaded so it snaps back. You can see when you put it on, it tightens up around the frame of the box. So all 4 of them tightly, very tightly, I mean there is almost no play available. So this is tightly put in here, holding the integrity of the box for shipping. So we're going to undo this. And this one is in the wrong direction. Okay, here we go. There we go. And you kind of pull this a little bit at a time. Kind of shimmy it out. And there you have the back of the unit. Okay, so we just took off the door. This is the back of the unit, so I'm going to flip this around to the front. Okay, and I'm just going to get over here to kind of pick this up on and put it on this additional rug here we have. Okay, so this is the front of the unit, and again we take off these latches and we kind of shimmy it out and put that on the side here for now. Okay, so we now have the front of the unit. So what we want to do now is I want to show you how easy it is to put this all together. So once you have the box open, okay, you're going to take this other box. This is the Stereo 290. This is its home, its case, and you want to make sure, again, with the same type of latch type of system, you open up the case here. Here you have the back. Okay. So very simple. You put this up on top. You take out the cord here. Okay. And on the very top of the unit here, this plugs into the spot all the way over on the right on the Furman power conditioner. And very easy to access. Alright, I just plugged it in, no problem. Now I have this cord here as I showed before. Okay. This is the input. This is going to take the signal, the wet and the dry signal from the box, and put it into the amp so it can be amplified and run into stereo. And again, like I said before, they're labeled 290 in B and 290 in A. So we take the A, find the inputs here on the left, put the A with the A, and put the B with the B. And the same thing gets applied here on the bottom. And they're labeled right here, A and B. So we have A and we have B. Okay. Well, down here I also have, when we're ready to plug into the wall, I have the main power supply. So now we have the box plugged into the amplifier for the stereo. And then what we want to do is, this is the cable for the speakers, for the stereo speakers, the two Mesa Boogie vertical 2x12s. And one end, it has two short connectors, the two Nortrek connectors, and there's not a lot of slack here. Okay, this is the end that's going to plug into the other side, or the outputs to power the speakers. So basically we're going to take this and we're going to plug this on the top, the 8 ohm, into speaker B and speaker A. Okay, and we put that in there like that. Okay, and then the other end, this is a very long cable, by the way, again custom made. And as soon as I untangle it, here we go, we'll be able to show you. Okay, so, and here you have enough play or enough slack in this part of it to run behind the unit here to plug into the speaker. So we're gonna hold off on that for a second. The next thing that goes up here is this. This is the 1x12 cap. Okay, and this is the speaker that's going to do the dry, and we use this cable, again very, very long, in case you want to put these things somewhere else. Why you would want to do that on a stage, I don't know, but who knows, maybe you're recording in a studio and you want to put the dry speaker in a separate room. There's more than enough wire here to do such a thing. So we're going to do, okay, so now we're going to plug, we just put the speaker up on top. This is the G12 Vintage 30 Celestron. This is the dry signal speaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to, what I like to do is I like to put the wire kind of like up here, and kind of to prevent it in case something happens or somebody pulls the wire, it's not going to pull it out. So I kind of do that, and then just very easy, only one connection, you just put it in there, you're done. And then you take the other end of the speaker wire here, and this again, this is the dry signal, and that goes into the box down here. You make sure that the switch is on the speaker side, and it's a locking Nortrek connector here, the female portion, so you put the male to the female, it locks, and you are now connected for the dry signal. Okay, so we just flipped it around. Let me also take off the cover here of the SKB. Okay, again, this is the Stereo 290 I just put up there. So now the next thing I'm going to connect is I just connected the dry signal. There's a box on the bottom as I showed you, and this gray wire ran up from that into the back of this cab, this 1x12 G12 Vintage 30 speaker. And now we're going to connect to this amp, the all tube Stereo 290, and this cable, this darker gray cable, is the stereo. This is what's going to be connected to those two Mesa Boogie 2x12 vertical cabs. So I'm going to connect this to the speaker out, 8 ohms. Okay, there's a top layer there, and I'm going to connect that back there now. Okay, so I just connected that. So now what we do is we have a lot of wire here, and then at the other end we have these 2 long leads, and from your perspective the green and the red one is going to go on the right speaker. That's the way I connected it in the back. So we're going to and remember, this connects to the 16 ohm, so I'm going to take this red and green one and put it into the 16 ohm. Okay, so that just plugs right in here. And then this other one is going to go onto the other speaker, which I'll bring over in a second. We'll be right back. We have the other speaker, and again, you got to plug it into the 16 ohm slot, and then that takes care of that. So here we have all the speakers are connected. The single 1x12 G12 Vintage 30 and the 2 Mesa Boogie 2x12 vertical cabs. Everything is connected in the back. Everything is plugged in. The only thing that we have to do now to show you is how easy it is to connect the front of the pedals that will be put in the front. So with that, we have this custom snake. All the wires you need are labeled and put in this, all the wires are inside this casing here to protect them and to organize them. Cable management for this system is paramount, so you'll see that time and time again. So basically how this works is you unravel it, and you have enough length here. That's probably 20 feet, maybe more, I don't even know, to go to the front of the stage to do your thing. And basically what I like to do is I like to take the wire out, and I kind of put the wires through this handle, so if somebody pulls it, they're not going to pull it out. Kind of like I kind of wrap it around twice. So if someone trips on the wire, not a big deal. It'll grab it on the handle first and not pull the wires out of your rig. Okay, so basically what you want to do is do that. And they're all to length, so they're going to kind of fit exactly where they're supposed to be. The MIDI controller goes first. They're labeled. From volume goes to from volume. The 2 value goes to the 2 volume, and the wah pedal goes to the wah pedal. And these are all locking connectors, so they can't pull out unless you press the orange thing. So there you go. And then you can give it a little bit more play if you want. And then there you go. And now down here, what I like to do is I like to, for now, because we don't have much space, I'm going to kind of roll this up here. And then get my wires all lined up. Because this is good, this is to length. So in other words, they're going to fit exactly this way. Okay, so I put the wires out like that. My volume pedals. Okay, the volume pedal is the one that says stereo 25k ohm pedal. Okay, this is very important. You got to use this one for the volume pedal. This is the first in the chain. And there's we're going to use the B, the bottoms, the B's. And there's an in and an outside. So basically all you want to do is you want to take the out, where it says volume out, put it there, volume in, put it there. and you're done with that one. Then you want to take the ground controller, and here you have the MIDI and the pedal 1 and the pedal 2. So you're going to take the MIDI connector, obviously, and put it into the MIDI. Okay. And then the pedal 1 and pedal 2 is labeled, so you put pedal 1 with pedal 1 and pedal 2 with pedal 2. And you're done with that. The expression pedals, you're just going to use the out. So you bypass, you don't put anything in the tuner, you don't put anything in the in. And it says here, expression pedal 1, out. So you put one, these are both the same, so it doesn't matter which one you use first or second. And then you take the wah controller and you put that one in at the end. There we go. You kind of position it the way that you want, and that's it. Now, if all worked correctly, I plug this in the back, and okay, so the moment of truth. Let there be rock. And everything powers up nicely. Then everything is in standby, ready to go. So again, thank you for tuning in to this wonderful product that I have here, the box. I know someone will enjoy it. I've enjoyed it for many years. It served me very well, and good luck, and we'll see you soon.